kindergartners. We are going to get started on a new project today, and we are going to be learning about an artist. This artist's name is Pete Mondrian, and I have a little presentation for you to show you some examples of his work and also to tell you a little bit more about the artist. I'm doing a brief presentation on the artist named Pete Mondrian. This is a picture of him. He was an artist that began his painting career doing realistic landscapes. So landscapes are pictures of land, and realistic means that it looked real. So this is a picture of a tree, and you can look at it and tell that it's a picture of a tree. After a while, he changed the way that he painted, and he wanted to learn more about how colors and lines work together to make art. Eventually, he started to use less and less details in his artwork and just a few colors. And if you look at this picture, think about the colors he's using. Can you guess which colors it is that he used? If you guessed the primary colors, you're absolutely right. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. For 20 years, Pete Mondrian used only black, white, gray, and then the three primary colors. He also used something called horizontal lines and vertical lines. Horizontal lines go from side to side, and vertical lines go straight up and down. When he was 68 years old, Pete Mondrian moved to New York City. And now I just am going to show you a few pictures that Pete Mondrian painted. So for today, we are going to work on making the lines on our project like Pete Mondrian did. I want you to remember that he only used vertical and horizontal lines. So his lines only went straight up and down, which is vertical, and straight side to side, which is horizontal. Now, I don't want to see, I'm trying to find a piece of paper. I don't want to see you guys make a whole bunch of up and down lines and a whole bunch of side to side lines that just make a bunch of squares that are about the same size. We want squares, we want rectangles, and we want them all different sizes. So I'm going to show you exactly how I want you to do that. The one thing that I really need you to make sure you do, other than the vertical and horizontal lines, is that you don't have any floating lines. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So I think I want to start by making, and I'm using a black crayon, a vertical line that's going straight up and down. I don't know if you can see the edge of my paper, but I'm making sure that the line touches both edges, so the top edge and the bottom edge. And then maybe up here I want one that touches the edge of my paper on the side, so this is a horizontal line. And it goes all the way over to the other edge. I'm going to move this a little bit because I just realized you can't see that. So now, maybe I want another horizontal line right here, and I want it to stop right there. This right here is not connecting to the edge of the paper. It's also not connecting to an edge, another line. This is what I mean by a floating line. I don't want any floating lines. So I have to connect another line to this. Maybe I want it to go vertical, so up and down, and I want it to go all the way to the bottom of my paper. Okay, now it's not floating. I think I want one that doesn't touch the top of my paper, but it goes this way. Right now it's floating, but I am going to connect it over to this side with a horizontal line. And now that's no longer floating. This space looks a little bit big to me, so I'm going to do a horizontal line all the way across and a vertical line right there. And then a vertical line right here. So look at all the different sizes of squares and rectangles that I have in here. That's what we really want for this project. So I'm going to make a few more lines. I'm not going to talk through this part. I'm just going to quickly finish. Okay, so I don't have any shapes that are huge because we really don't want that. And I also don't have any shapes that are just teeny, teeny, tiny because we don't really want that. But I filled my page up. I don't have a whole lot of white space, like maybe more white space on one side than the other. It's pretty balanced, okay? I also made sure that I don't have any floating lines. Everything is either touching the edge of the paper or connecting to another line. And I have shapes that are all different sizes. So I would call this done until we get to the painting part next time. So this is what I would like you to finish for today. Again, use a black crayon. I'll see you next time.